Paradise! It's Liliana the Magnificent, and welcome back to my main city, Dukes of Honey. In this video, I am going to talk about how to acquire higher aged goods for building any kind of great building that you could want. So I get asked most often about how to get goods for the Ark, which is a future era great building, but honestly, it can be any great building that is just above your age. So even though I'm PME, I've had to reach out to various players for goods, SAB goods for the space carrier, for Truce Tower, which is Tomorrow era. Back when I was even tinier than Progressive era, I had to get somebody to help me build my chateau, which was Fozzie of all people, and it's very near and dear to me. And honestly, like, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but the higher aged great buildings that you get, does anybody ever like remember who gave you what buildings? Like, I know who gave me my chateau. I know who gave me my Ark, which was my founder of Paradise, which was CY. So, like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I remember who gave me buildings versus which ones I built myself. Like, I remember building the Tower of Babel myself. Anyway, that's off topic. Let's talk about how to do this. First off, you're going to want to join an active guild. If you are not already in an active guild, search out one. The top 100 guilds, even probably top 200 maybe-ish guilds within your world tend to be more active. Always read the descriptions for your guild. Or the guild that I guess I should say that you are interested in. So go looking at descriptions, make sure that they sound active. If there is no description, most likely they are not active. But essentially why you want to be in an active guild is you want to have players that are there to support you, help you grow. You want a variety of aged players that can help give you goods at any time for any era. So that is all super important. Once you are in an active guild, and if you consider yours to be active, all you have to do is put out a request within your message center. So you could put it out in the main guild thread, you could put it out in a chitter chat thread or a trade request thread that you specifically are looking for goods of this specific great building. And I also like to provide the era too, just because it's kind of helpful. I tend to forget what goods go with what great buildings, but if you tell me like, hey, I need Truce Tower goods, and I'm like, okay, Truce Tower is what age? And you tell me tomorrow, then as a guild leader, I tend to know in my guild who is a Tomorrow era player. Along with that, now with the newer-ish update, I guess it's only a couple of months old, if you hover over any player within your friends list, your guild, your hood, they will tell you what age they're from. So that's really helpful if you're looking for a certain age for a certain great building. But honestly, you put out a very general request. Somebody should be able to point you into the right direction to get you the goods. So specifically in this guild, which I am super excited about that I'm visiting, this is Lil Paradise or Lil Pod, which is the sister guild to my mother base, which is Paradise. So right now I am on the higher end of points, and there's only one above me, which is Fozzie, but if we all remember, he gave me my CF, and honestly, I still send everybody to him, at least for buildings that I can't help out with. So being that I am in PME, I can help out with anything that's below PME, and you all know I am a goods hoarder, so of course I help out my guildmates. The most popular for me lately actually have been the CF and also the Alcatraz, which are both Progressive era buildings, and I help out with those quite a bit. So if any building is above PME that I can't help out with, I will send them to Fozzie. And if Fozzie just can't kind of handle it, a lot of times there are a lot of players in a guild, and if everybody is going after one player for goods, that player can be tapped. So hopefully your guild has a nice variety. Being that we are very special here in Lil Pod, we are joined, like I said, with Paradise, which is our motherboard, and that's normally, oops, we are in players, that's normally where I am, but we are visiting because look at their number, they have grown so big. Lil Paradise is for a lot of like my YouTube friends come and join and want to be a part of our guild, which I just like uber love that you guys want to come and hang out with me. So I'm like really excited that this number is so big. But if Fozzie can't handle the goods, then in Paradise we have a lot of high point players, a lot of variety age players. I know it doesn't show what age they're in within the member list, but um, honestly, I can send them to a lot of these players. Everybody is super supportive in both of our guilds, and I'm overwhelmed that all of these players will help low pod, and I just love it. But yeah, so I'll send them to anybody in pod, and they'll help out with goods as well. Not all guilds are paired like us. I think we're kind of, I know there are things like vacation guilds or like ghost guilds or whatever, but ours is definitely a second active home just because there was spillover. So that's one way. Now, let's say you are not in an active guild, you're maybe hoping to, or maybe you just really like your guild and it's like super quiet and you just don't want to have to deal with the hassle of an active guild. There are a couple of ways that we can go about this. First off, I would say visit your neighborhood. Look at the top players in their neighborhood and you can send them PMs. A lot of times these players come from more active guilds. So you can PM them and ask if they know anybody in their guild who could direct them to somebody that could help with a certain age for this certain great building. Granted, you are not going to want to ask these players if they have the goods because they're PME like me. They're not going to have goods for like a space carrier, but they might be able to direct you to somebody in their guild who might know, might have the goods, or B, might know of, which is our next one, a goods trader for your world. So every world has various goods traders. I know where they are in B world. They're actually in, if I can find the guild right here, there's actually 3 of them there right now. But Wolfpack, Net Nomad, and 765, whatever, are all goods traders. So a goods trader will provide you the goods for a variety of great buildings. Each goods trader focuses on different eras. So you kind of have to inquire, but yeah, you're probably wondering, how do I find these players? Let's help you find them. So one of the strategies that I will say that you could probably do is if you visit the top guilds and you visit their guild profile and you look at their members, if you PM any one of these members that has a star, which means they are a leader, or has a little crown, that means that they are a founder, most likely those players know all of the ins and outs of the world and can direct you to either they might direct you to a player within their guild who can help out with goods, or they'll direct you to a goods trader that they probably know of because they interact with all of the top guilds, so they know who the goods traders are. Goods traders tend to have some of the highest points within the game, so they've been around for a while, and their hoarding skills are even better than mine, probably. I would say I'm a pretty good hoarder, though. Now, what's the difference between somebody who's like a guildmate giving you the goods versus a goods trader? Here's the difference. A guildmate, and if you're in an active and supportive guild that wants you to have great buildings and wants you to grow, they will provide a kind of cheaper rate or a guild rate. So in our guild, we specifically charge 2 goods of that player per 1 good of your own, and it can be any era. We also tend not to charge forge points. So this is for any great building. Honestly, this is just our going rate within our guild. Now, a goods trader, all of them charge differently. Some of them might do 2 for 1. Some of them might do one of their era goods for one of your era goods. It kind of depends. But all of the goods traders will charge forge points. They have different going rates per different world and also per the trader, but it can be a couple hundred. It can also be up to a couple like thousand if it's a brand new building. Like I remember when, like for instance, when the new Venus age pops up, there's obviously going to be a new great building that's associated with that age. It is such a hot commodity that it is charged like maybe 1,500, 2,000 forge points for the goods of that great building if you want it right away. Granted, now, I remember when like the space carrier was really, really hot and oh boy, it was super hard to get. And ooh, everybody was charging an arm and a leg for those goods. But if you can like be patient, then it's not so expensive. But yeah, so reach out to, like I said, those leaders, those founders of those top guilds. They can direct you to those goods traders. Also, you could be like me and it could be complete happenstance and luck, sheer luck, honestly. But when I started my baby world in Houndsmore, um, and I just was befriending random active, what looked like active players and active guilds. Not everybody wanted to be my friend when I was a teeny tiny Bronze Age player, but you know, I was ambitious. And boy, if you're ambitious, go out and get it, I say. Do not be scared to PM these players. People are really, really nice. And if they're not, then boy, there's tons of others that'll make up for the not so happy friendly one. But when I first started here, I just so happened to land on friend requesting this Rumpelstiltskin. He actually PM'd me and he was like, "Hey, what goods do you need?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, I'm a goods trader. Do you need anything?" And I was like, "No, actually I don't." And yet he and I are still friends. Most of the time, the goods traders will actually remove you as a friend. So don't feel hurt if they do. And it's only because they're keeping their friend list open so that more people can send them friend requests so that they can help more players and get their goods to those players that need them. But yeah, so he's one, and that was just sheer luck that I so happened to PM him. And then here, someone in my guild is actually an ARC dealer, and I had no idea until like maybe just a few months ago. It was so funny. All I did was a player had reached out to me asking if I knew who the goods traders were in H, and I only knew of Rumpelstiltskin, and so then I PM'd my guild, and I was like, "Hey, does anybody know who can help with ARC goods?" And he was like, "I can." It was really funny. Um, but yeah, those are just three different ways to get the goods. So like I said, join an active guild. You can PM your guild, ask for somebody to direct you in guild who can help you with the goods that you need. You can look for a active friend that can help you with the goods. You can also look for a goods trader via looking through some of the top guilds, looking at leaders, founders, PM them. They're really nice. Some of them might even try to recruit you into the guild and be like, "Hey, we can help you." So that's kind of just the fun part. There's a lot of connection with this game, so don't let it scare you off. If there's something you want, just don't be afraid to ask somebody for help. That's the best way I can put it. Also, I guess there is one more way now that I think about it too. This edition is now on mobile, but if you are on mobile, there's your little message center here on the bottom right-hand corner. There's now something called a global chat. The neighborhood chat is, hey, there's actually, oh my gosh, somebody is here. I always say, hi. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. There's somebody that wants to talk. Normally this is dead. But if you go into global chat and you PM here, "Hey, I'm looking for goods to build this certain great building," or "I'm looking for a goods trader," now that this feature is on mobile, you might be able to locate a goods trader much faster as well. So that's another way to look for it. I didn't even think of that one till right now. Go you, Lil. But yeah, so those are a couple of different options. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a like. You can always subscribe to my channel, and when you hit the little bell next to the subscribe button, you'll be notified whenever I put out new videos. All right, guys, see you later. Bye!